This video was sponsored by Enhance, NeoWatt, ABRP, Elbilmek, Kempower and EB Hub. Yo, what's up? We're now sitting in the brand spanking new 2025 model Xpeng G9 on the Xpeng G9 performance, and I'll show you how fast this beast from the east is charging. It has now the new LFP battery. It is from CALB, the same provider that NIO uses actually. Whereas Seeker, they use CATL Quilin battery. But okay, this thing charges really fast. I tested it on a Supercharger, 500 kilowatt, the true 1000 volt architected, the V4 at Hellerudsletta. And I also did another charging session at Circle K Dal, but that was in daytime when it was sunny, on the 400 kilowatt Alpitronic truck charger with the Phoenix contact. And there I got this weird dip in the speed. I'll show you all this stuff, and I don't know if it was the car or the charger. So yeah, okay, let me just roll the tape now. You see that on the middle session there, it starts ramping up, and then boom, 400, 460, 400 and okay, there, okay, it hits 460 something ish, right? But it went so fast, but I forgot, I couldn't tell you guys that the current was peaking at 615. So I wonder if that's the same, you know, that's what it says on the charger, on the Supercharger. Maybe the V4 is capped at 615 amps, whereas the V3 actually goes higher. But okay, it's so fast. Now we also included the old G9, but you know, the old G9 was already considered quite fast. This was recorded in November 2023, right? And the middle session here, the fastest session, is so fast it even makes the old G9 look slow, but it is actually not that slow compared to many other cars. Like after 10 minutes on the rightmost session here, 50%, 10 minutes, right? Most other cars after 10 minutes will be at maybe 35-40%. Yeah, so it's so fast. We're gonna hit 80% soon now. It will take 12 minutes as advertised. Let me see there. Yeah, 12 minutes, 80%, and then the oil is only at 59%. That's how much faster this is. But yeah, it went so fast I could not show you guys, but there was this dip on the left session, and I don't know, but was it because the battery was a bit hotter? Because I started with slightly hotter battery, but you also see that the ambient temperature, well, you don't see it here, but the inlet is lower on the middle session, and the ambient temperature on the Supercharger session was around 19-20 degrees Celsius, and you will see it was around midnight. You can see on the top there, middle, and then on the left corner you see that the left top, you see that was in the afternoon. It was sunny also that day, so maybe did the car rapid gate? I don't know, but you see we can look at the charging curve afterwards, but it seems like the new G9 battery, also with the G6, it doesn't build up that much heat. So when we compare it against the BMW iX3 Neue Klasse, for example, the iX3 battery heats up way more. So I suspect that the internal resistance on these LFP batteries are really, really good, despite that we are charging so fast. And now, like, okay, G9 hit 80% as advertised at 20 minutes, and this is just so much faster. It is industry leading. Yeah. They're just using the CALB, but I'm going to show you something. When it hit 100%, I let it run in the middle session, and it starts cooling the battery, and it pulls 3 kilowatt roughly for cooling for a while, and then you see that the charge drops now because I disconnected. So that's interesting that the car runs some kind of cooling for a bit until it stops after a while. Okay, well, dude, it went so fast. I usually have 10 times playback speed on these sessions, and it's okay, but now maybe for the Xpeng I need to go 5x only. Okay, and here you see, okay, this car is supposed to take 525 kilowatt, but was this a cap on the car? Because it has some kind of step, you know, it's not like an even curve. Or was this the 615 amp cap on the Supercharger, and voltage is well, yeah, if voltage is higher we'll probably get higher power, I don't know. And then how can we get 525 kilowatt? Do we need the new Huawei chargers with 800 amp and 600 kilowatt dispenser? But okay, so interesting, it goes faster there, right? And then the Alpitronic flattens out here, caps at 400. By the way, what you see here in car scanner is what goes into the battery. and then what you see in the charger screen and also on the car screen is actually what's pulled from the charger, and there's around 4 to 6 kilowatt difference. So if you look at the charger screen, or even on the Alpitronic, it will say 404 kilowatt not found. But what goes to the battery is actually slightly less than that, what you guys saw. But here, it follows the same curve at least. You see, this has a higher boost, right? And I was thinking, okay, some cars will flatten the curve. Here, it just spot on, bam. But here is that dip. What is this dip? You know, was this overheating of the battery or the cable? Hard to tell. Yeah, but eventually it catches up here. When, I don't know, the cable doesn't heat too much, but when the power drops, or if the cooling can catch up, then they follow identical here. So this should indicate that if you're charging at like Ioniq 350 kilowatt, right, with 500 amp limit, you will get around you should flatten at 350 kilowatt. But it should mean that once you hit around 50%, then you follow the other line identically, as long as there's no overheating of, well, there's no overheating of a cable because they use the liquid cooled cables. Whereas this is, the red line here, this is actually a dry cable with boost. Whereas the blue line here, Tesla, they are the best because they use liquid cooled cables, and they can also go high on current. So here, there is no limit here, or no, at least, well, except for the current cap, right? So any throttling we will see here should not be because of the charging equipment. It should be because of the car. But here, the red line here, big unknown. And then here at the bottom here, we see the old session, which was, I mean, it's still fast. If you compare this against another car, this is still pretty fast, but it's just way more faster with the modern, the latest and greatest Xpeng. But this time I will skip comparing against the other brands like the BMW and the Seeker and the MG or iMessage. We know that Xpeng charges the fastest until BYD enters the chat or Geely comes with the next big gun. But okay, for now, Xpeng in Norway is the fastest charging EV. So I'll show you here the comparison between the G6 and the G9 and also the X9. And one interesting thing you should notice is that the G9 has the highest voltage. This matters. You see, we can hit the highest speed. So actually on Monday I will test the X9. So I will test the X9 on the Supercharger, but unfortunately the X9 is the beast also from the east, but it has a lower voltage. 70 to 80 volts lower, but this is the NMC, so you see that voltage goes up more, whereas the two first ones here, the new ones, they are LFP, so there's not that much voltage difference. But you can say that the worst voltage here is the G6, only 640-ish, versus the X9, which eventually goes over 700. But now we are all at 60%, right? So then we probably can't hit any crazy high speeds anyway. We need to go deep, probably around 10-15% we can hit the fastest speed. But also it seems like even the Xpengs here, they still need some time to ramp up to max speed. So I don't know what the trick is. Maybe we need to arrive at 5%, and then at 10% we can hit the maximum speed. But if you arrive at 1%, then you get that slow speed that we have seen also in the old G9 versus the new, and many Chinese cars, they tend to have this. But okay, this is still very fast, and in case we want to see which car is the fastest, well, it seems like the G9 is there. The G9 is fastest, and then G6 is right behind, and then X9 is slightly slow, but they're like really neck and neck. We're just talking about maybe 30-second difference here. But also here we can see the temperature. At least the cars kind of works on the G6 and G9, but not on the X9, unfortunately. But you can also see that it doesn't hit crazy high temperatures. Okay, 50 degrees. The Tesla goes to 60 degrees, and you know, we have heard it in the news that someone claimed that those BYD flash charging batteries, the batteries hit over 70 degrees Celsius. Here we have solid proof, unless you know Xpeng is lying about the canvas data, that the battery temperature doesn't go much above 50 degrees Celsius, and then it also starts cooling once it's done. So, well, yeah. Is this good news? Hopefully. I mean, how sustainable is this, right? Is it going to kill the battery? Well, we already know that LFP batteries are quite robust, so they should be able to take a lot of beating without degrading too much, but there's also another misconception that you can charge it to 100%. No, it's not good for LFP to charge 100%, and you should actually avoid too many, many cycles. You should try to discharge it down to 20% and then charge it up to maybe 90%. Yeah. Contrary to what you have heard before, the reason why they wanted to charge 100% now and then is for the BMS to calibrate. And here I'll just show you all the charging sessions. We didn't include all of this in a big cluster for it. There will be way too many cars to look at. But okay, at the very top we have the G9, the fastest charging for now until we have tested the X9. Just goes way above everything else here, and even at high state of charge, you see, goes way above everything else. The yellow line here, the second place, is the Seeker 7X, yes, with the CATL Quilin battery, yes, still quite fast. And then the third here, kind of hard to follow, but that's the blue, okay, the darker blue. That is a BMW iX3 Neue Klasse. Has this weird dip here. I don't know, this doesn't look like a typical charger plug dip. It seems to be more like a car dip. Because usually if the Amphenol or whatever that was in use here was throttling, it wouldn't look like this. It will have this other wave zigzag thing that you've seen in the previous video. And then the third place here, slightly brighter blue, that is the MG IM6. I don't know which supplier they use, but it has a flatter, more even curve, fairly flat, actually beating the BMW even at higher state of charge. Very impressive with the IM6 still. And then here, a slightly different color again. Which car is this? Audi Q6 e-tron, okay. The Germans, I heard it in the news. BMW, well, they probably saw this, and they'd be like, Scheiße. The others are so schnell, the Chinese. Okay, but the BMW here, for example, they say that, well, they don't charge that fast because they want to ensure longevity and the quality and the safety. Okay, so, well, but that means that Tesla is the safest, right? Because it charges the slowest. Okay, anyway, okay. So here the Q6 e-tron is still quite schnell. Has okay speed, right? It was fast a couple of years ago until all these other crazy mother truckers came out here. Well, these are not truckers, but fairly flat. Well, is it flat curve? Kind of ish. And but here, yeah, it seems like the Q6 was tuned to go fast to 80%, and then there's a kind of plummet. But the Xpeng can still maintain. Look at this, Xpeng. Even at 90%, almost 90%, can maintain 150 kilowatts. That's amazing, man. Okay, and then what is this? The Koreans, the 800 volt. The back then when I said that this is kind of hype, you know, the hype is also about the efficiency, because these 800 volt cars, most of them, they are not that efficient. They can't match Tesla in efficiency still today. That's one part of the hype, yes, that I claim. But of course, eventually, once the batteries they develop and they can charge faster, then it makes sense to go 800 volt like today we are seeing. But yeah, this has a weird thing. Why is it doing like this in the Ioniq 5 with the 84 kilowatt? This also applies to the EV6, right? Why didn't it charge faster at the bottom, right? I don't know. And it charges at only 250-ish kilowatts. And then, okay, here actually, here we have the Tesla Model Y. Yeah, this is long range. This is the latest and greatest, the 6M, whatever battery is called, the LG. Yeah, fairly flat-ish, yeah, compared to the other Teslas at least. So that's okay. And then at the bottom here, we have the Explorer, also very, very popular. All these cars I mentioned here, they are actually fairly popular. Yeah, I forgot to include one car, which is the... Oh, that's good. Yes, Lexus. Just to show you, this is before it hits the punishment point. But whatever, you can drive over 1,000 kilometers before it hits it. So here, just as comparison, Toyota/Lexus, they are way down here, slower than everything else. It has a fairly flat curve though, but yeah. So at least now you see the whole comparison there. If it matters for the best speed, you have to go for Xpeng. And then if everything else doesn't matter, then you can go for some of the low ones over here. But okay, that was it. Amazing fast, yeah, of the Xpeng. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. For now, Xpeng is the best. Yeah, really fast charging. I mean, it's so fast that I can't, for long trips, I can't catch up with the car. It's just so fast. So Yeah, I would say that still around 15-20 minutes, like many other cars perform, is also quite good. So we will see then when we go to the 5-minute flash charging how practical that is, right? Is it going to be way too fast? You can't leave the car almost. You have to sit and wait until it finishes and then you leave the car. Otherwise, you'll be some hefty idle fee, right? If you block the very important 1.5 megawatt charger. So okay, whatever. But this is quite good, yes. And then maybe also eventually, if you guys want, or if you guys have it also, I should test some 3-year-old G9 to see, especially the ones that has fast charge a lot, to see how much they have degraded, because I have measurement point 94 kilowatt hour net capacity when the car was new. So we can test now in 3 years after some cycles how much they have degraded, right? Okay, anyway, that's going to be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.